In our previous video, we discussed the following important points about subtraction of integers. To subtract a positive integer, we always move towards the left on the number line. If the signs of the integers are different, then to find their difference, we first add their absolute values. And then we give the sign of an integer corresponding to the higher absolute value. Here, the greater absolute value is 5. Therefore, we use its sign to write the final answer. What if we want to subtract a negative integer? In our previous lesson, we worked out 2 less than 6 as 4. This is how it looked on a number line. Now, what if we had to solve this? To subtract 2 from 6, we move towards the left on the number line. So can we again move towards the left to subtract negative 2? No, we can't. We are subtracting negative 2 this time, not 2. In this case, we will move 2 steps towards the right from here. We will get the answer as 8. So subtracting negative 2 from 6 gives us 8. What can we understand from this? It means that the value of an integer increases on subtracting a negative integer from it. We know that 2 more than 6 is also 8. So 6 minus negative 2 is equal to 6 plus 2. Therefore, we can say that subtraction of a negative integer is the same as adding its additive inverse. Let us understand this well. In the above example, we have to subtract negative 2. It means adding the additive inverse of negative 2. Can you tell me the additive inverse of negative 2? Yes, it is 2. So in this example, subtracting negative 2 from 6 is the same as adding additive inverse of negative 2 with 6. It gives us the answer as 8. Isn't it simple to understand? To subtract a negative integer means to add its additive inverse. With this understanding, let me give you a question to solve. Here it is. Here again, we have to subtract a negative integer. Earlier, we subtracted a negative integer from a positive integer, but this time we have to subtract it from a negative integer. That means both the integers are negative. Give it a shot. Let us discuss the solution now. We first need to write the additive inverse of negative 7. It is 7. As we have to subtract negative 7 from negative 3, we will do it by adding 7 to negative 3. The problem is now about addition of integers. This means we will get the answer by moving 7 steps to the right of negative 3. So we get the final answer as 4. So there are 2 things we understood regarding subtraction of integers. Subtraction of a negative integer is the same as adding its additive inverse. And subtracting of a positive integer is the same as adding a negative integer. With all this understanding, we can now work out the problems of addition and subtraction of integers easily. But what if the problem involves addition of more than 2 integers? Will you be able to solve it? Now consider this question. Why don't you give it a try? We will discuss the solution to this problem in our next lesson.